When wolves return to a place they once ruled, the land listens. But what happens when one wolf stops following the rules of the pack? In Yellowstone National Park, wolves are known for order, cooperation, and balance. Yet every so often, an individual makes choices that seem to break the system. These moments are rare, quiet, and easy to misunderstand. They are not stories of monsters, but of pressure, survival, and adaptation. This is the story of when wolves go rogue in Yellowstone. Yellowstone is one of the largest intact ecosystems in North America. Wide valleys, dense forests, open plateaus, and long winters shape every life here. Nothing survives without adapting to extremes. Gray wolves are one of the park's most influential animals. They are social predators living in family-based packs. Each pack usually includes a breeding pair, their offspring, and sometimes younger relatives. Wolves depend on cooperation. They hunt together, defend territory together, and raise pups together. Their success comes from structure and restraint. But wolves are also individuals. Each one responds differently to hunger, injury, competition, and change. And Yellowstone is constantly changing. For most of the 20th century, wolves were absent from Yellowstone. They were eliminated by hunting and government control programs. Without them, prey animals like elk grew more numerous and less cautious. In 1995, wolves were reintroduced. Within years, their presence reshaped the park. Elk behavior shifted. Vegetation recovered along rivers. Other species, from birds to beavers, felt the effects. This balance depends on wolf behavior staying mostly predictable. Territories are respected. Prey is selected carefully. Energy is conserved. When a wolf acts outside these patterns, the ripple effects can be significant. A wolf that goes rogue is not a villain. It is not driven by malice or madness. The term simply describes behavior that falls outside normal pack strategy. Sometimes it's a lone wolf. Sometimes it's a pack member breaking away. Sometimes it's a breeding wolf making risky choices. These moments usually begin with pressure. One common cause is food scarcity. Winter in Yellowstone can last more than half the year. Deep snow limits movement and increases energy costs. If prey becomes harder to catch, wolves face a decision. They can follow traditional routes and targets, or they can take risks. A wolf may begin hunting alone, rather than waiting for the pack. It may target smaller or less typical prey. It may push into neighboring territories. These choices can look reckless, but they often come from necessity. Territory is another trigger. Yellowstone is divided into overlapping wolf pack ranges. Borders are constantly tested. Young wolves are especially vulnerable to conflict. As they mature, they may be pushed out by dominant pack members. This process is natural and prevents overcrowding. Dispersing wolves travel long distances. Some leave the park entirely. Others linger on the edges, avoiding established packs. During this period, their behavior can appear unpredictable. They move at odd hours. They hunt opportunistically. They avoid contact but take chances. This is often labeled as rogue behavior. In rare cases, a wolf challenges its own pack. This usually involves breeding rights. Only the alpha pair typically reproduces. Other adults help raise the pups. This keeps the pack stable and focused. But biology doesn't always cooperate. If the alpha weakens due to age or injury, tensions rise. A younger wolf may test boundaries. These internal struggles are usually brief and subtle. Posturing replaces violence. Most challenges fail. If a wolf loses, it may leave rather than submit. That departure changes everything. Once alone, a wolf faces a new reality. It has no pack to share the hunt, no allies to defend kills, no group to help survive injury or illness. To compensate, lone wolves alter their behavior. They hunt smaller prey. They rely more on scavenging. They travel longer distances with fewer rest periods. These adaptations can bring them closer to human boundaries. Not because they seek people, but because edges are easier to navigate. In Yellowstone, this might mean valleys, river corridors, or open flats. From a distance, this behavior can look alarming. A wolf moving alone, hunting at unusual times, crossing familiar areas without hesitation. But these actions are about survival efficiency, not aggression. Wolves do not abandon caution easily. Even a desperate wolf avoids unnecessary risk. Occasionally, a lone wolf survives long enough to form something new. It may encounter another dispersing wolf. Together, they establish a territory. This is how new packs are born. Many of Yellowstone's current packs began this way. What once looked like rogue behavior becomes the foundation of stability. There are also cases where entire packs change their strategy. This can happen after losing multiple members, or when prey patterns shift due to climate or migration changes. A pack may alter its hunting schedule. It may focus on different prey age groups. It may move its core territory. To researchers, these shifts are signs of intelligence and flexibility. To casual observers, they can appear abnormal. But wolves are not bound by rigid rules. They respond to conditions as they arise. One well-documented change involved elk behavior. As wolves became more established, elk avoided open valleys. They spent less time near rivers. This forced wolves to adjust. Some packs traveled farther. Others waited longer for opportunities. In a few cases, individual wolves broke from pack hunts to explore new tactics. These wolves were not failures. They were experiments. Nature constantly tests ideas. Most don't last. Some reshape the system. An important turning point comes from understanding wolf impact. When wolves act differently, the ecosystem responds. A lone wolf hunting in a marginal area may reduce pressure elsewhere. A new pack can rebalance prey distribution. Even failed dispersal attempts contribute to genetic diversity. What looks like disorder is often part of regulation. Yellowstone thrives on these adjustments. Researchers monitoring wolves have learned to be cautious with labels. Terms like rogue simplify complex behavior. They risk framing adaptation as deviation. Wolves do not break rules for the sake of it. They respond to energy demands, social dynamics, and environmental change. Every choice carries cost and benefit. There are limits. A wolf that takes too many risks often does not survive long. Injury, starvation, or conflict eventually ends the experiment. But even these outcomes serve a purpose. They reinforce which strategies work. Evolution favors flexibility, but not recklessness. Human perceptions play a role in the rogue narrative. When wolves cross roads, approach developed areas, or hunt near boundaries, attention spikes. These events are rare. They are usually tied to dispersal or resource pressure. They do not represent a trend. Still, they remind us that wild systems do not operate for human comfort. Yellowstone remains one of the few places where wolves can fully express their natural range of behavior, including mistakes, including risk. This freedom is essential. Without it, the system would stagnate. The true lesson of wolves that go rogue is not about danger. It is about resilience. A wolf willing to try something new may fail, or it may create a new balance. The park does not punish deviation, it absorbs it. In the end, wolves do not go rogue against nature. They move within it. Their choices, whether cautious or bold, shape the land in subtle ways. They remind us that stability in nature comes from constant adjustment. Yellowstone is not orderly because nothing changes. It is balanced because change is allowed. And sometimes that balance begins with a single wolf stepping off the familiar path.